You're listening to Improv-ing Business on Web Talk Radio, where personal and business finance take a front row seat. I'm Brandon.
Hi, this is Rick.
And today we'll be looking into the distinction between being competitive and competitors as it relates to your business.
Kind of sounds like something from Mad Magazine.
Yeah. Wait, why?
Spy versus spy.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah. And we'll be using some concepts from Competitive Intelligence Advantage, how to minimize risk, avoid surprises, and grow your business in a changing world by Seena Sharp.
Today we'll be talking about a bunch of stories regarding corporate America. Mainly will be Southwest Airlines, because they have been a great example of knowing their competitive industry and not focusing so much on their competitors. So we're going to start the story with Southwest. I don't know, Brandon, have you flown Southwest? I guess everybody in California has flown Southwest.
Oh, yeah. It's a great, I think they give you little short bread biscuits. I think that's all I remember.
No, mine were the little peanuts, the little beer nuts type thing.
Well, I can't.
And
you know, I have a problem with peanuts.
But that's actually a good example, because what they did is they cut out a lot of the frills that people didn't mind not getting, and they lowered the prices and took care of turnarounds on cleaning up the the airplanes, between flights, and all these things that the consumer wanted. So here's the story, basically. It starts back in 1967. Roland King and Herb Kelleher incorporated Air Southwest Company to fly within the state of Texas. And there's a whole story about this, because other airlines were really upset with this, because they figured if they stayed within the state of Texas, that I guess they would fall under the Interstate Commerce Code and wouldn't be subject to regulations by the federal government, which makes a big deal when you're in airlines.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they fly around like that, and I think there was lawsuits they were flying about, and I think it even went to the Supreme Court, and they won. They were okay. But, eventually they went outside of Texas anyway, so I guess it became a moot point. But one thing that Kelleher did is that in 1971, he studied PSA. Now, I don't know if you were familiar with PSA Airlines, right? PSA?
Public Service Announcement Airlines? All they play is public service announcements?
That's right, no music.
Duck and cover, duck and cover.
No, that would be the 50s and early 60s.
So in the 70s, it would just be PSAs about, disco safety. What? Don't stand underneath the ball in case it falls. If you have a Saturday night fever over 105 degrees, go to the hospital.
Very good, Mr. Travolta. So anyway, they started to expand, and they were studying PSA because they liked the business model that PSA had, but they put their own little twist into it. And one of the things they did is they primarily used the same aircraft, the 737, which you've probably flown on many times back and forth to the Bay Area.
Little commuter planes.
Right, little things. And, they were able to get a system going, and we talked about that in our policies, procedures, and processes, those kind of things that you would put in place to get a business running like a nice, well-oiled machine. So the business model also focused on the consumer, the customer. That was the main thing. What was it that the customer was not getting, and what was it that they can do to make the customer happy? And another thing that they did on getting to this goal was basically is that they would have a high level of employees and aircraft productivity. So what it meant is that the employees really took Southwest Airlines' performance to heart. They really tried hard to make it work. And that primarily meant is that they were focusing on the passengers. And the other thing that they did is that, people don't like these planes being delayed because the cleanup crew is cleaning them up. I guess they're putting fuel in and getting baggage on and off. What they did at Southwest Airlines, they were able to get that down to a science where they were minimizing the turnaround time.
They did the NASCAR thing.
Ah, yeah,
like the pit stop.
That would be cool. Yeah, right. Watch out, here comes a plane. He's going to pull into the pit.
Also, didn't they have free baggage?
Yeah, they didn't charge for baggage. Amazing.
I still think they don't for just one bag.
And I know a lot of people that come on with a lot of baggage in my life. And
yeah.
But the one thing that I remember about Southwest, it seemed like, is that they were charging about the same amount of money to fly from LA to San Francisco as it would cost for you to rent a car.
At 1/8 the amount of time that
Right,
it takes.
right. And you know, when you add in all the traffic that you hit getting into San Francisco or Oakland,
And
and
the amount of money it costs to park in San Francisco.
right, right, and they have metro, or the BART system, basically. You can get around. You don't need a car if you're going to stay within the area, and I've done that a number of times.
In fact, the former president of Southwest said, "We're in the customer service business. We just happen to fly airplanes."
And I think that's a great statement because it really should be the same statement that everybody has, just change the last phrase. We're in the customer service business. We just do plumbing. We're in the customer service business. We just sell insurance. We're in the customer service business. We just sell hardware.